Hello, today I am going to rate and rank all of the crochet tapestries I made in 2023. This was the year I learned how to make crochet tapestries, and I started in September. So in those 4 months, I made 7 tapestries overall. Way back before I learned how to make crochet tapestries, I had only crocheted a few things. Some of those included a blanket made up of single crocheted squares, as well as a balaclava that was supposed to look like Bart Simpson. And with that one, all of the cones I didn't know how to make look like his hair, so all of the spikes came out completely uneven. Anyways, I always thought crochet tapestries looked so cool, and I'd always wanted to try to make one. But finally I watched Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and I was so inspired by the jack-o'-lantern in it that I finally sat down and learned how to make a crochet tapestry. So I watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials, I made a chart in Adobe Illustrator, and I got to work. Once I started crocheting, I got confused a lot and I had to restart a few times because the right side and the wrong side kept tricking me. It also turned out to be completely ginormous and way bigger than I expected. I started this on September 28th and I finished it on October 15th, so it took me 18 days total. Once the tapestry was finished, I sewed it onto some fabric, added a zipper, and made it a pillowcase. Because of how good I think this looks, and it being a staple decoration in my apartment for Halloween over the last 3 years, I'm giving this tapestry 5 stars. But before I even finished working on the jack-o'-lantern tapestry, I started working on a new present for my friend's birthday, which was also in October. So for some context, my friend has a stuffed animal monkey that they call Bobo, and it's adorable. And it's also a coincidence because growing up, I also had a stuffed animal monkey that I called Bobo too. So my friend is always dressing up Bobo in these sweet little outfits. Some of them are handmade, and they also have a tattoo of Bobo on their leg. So I wanted to honor this wonderful monkey in tapestry form. I don't remember having any big problems with this chart. I was just so excited that it actually looked like Bobo the monkey. I was still learning about how you're supposed to chain 1 at the end of each row, so when you turn your work and begin continuing your design, the edges stay the same length. So when you look at the edges on mine, you'll notice there's some variation and inconsistencies there, but it took me 3 days to finish. I started on October 4th and finished on the 6th, and I think it looks really good. I really like how the monkey design turned out, but technically there are some issues in the edges of the piece, so I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 stars. I then wanted to turn the monkey tapestry into a pillow, so I needed a tapestry to act as the back of the pillow. So I decided I would make a heart design. So it is a blue background with a pink heart, and it introduced me to the world of symmetrical charts where the right side and the wrong side no longer matter, so I was able to get through it pretty quickly. I started this on October 7th and finished it on October 8th, so it took me 2 days total. I'm going to give this tapestry 4 out of 5 stars because technically it's perfect. I think it looks perfect. There's no errors or anything. However, there's no soul to it, so 4 out of 5 stars for this one. I will say the finished pillow is a perfect 5 out of 5 stars. I added a white trim and it's so cute, and I shipped it to my friend and they loved it, so that's all that matters. My next tapestry journey started when my parents caught wind of my newly discovered talents. Okay, so my mom, she loves puzzles, and she was gifted a puzzle a few years ago that was Portland, Oregon themed, and the designer of that puzzle is Allison Cole. It's an adorable puzzle, and my mom finished it in 1 day like she always does, but then she immediately started theming the basement of the house around that puzzle. My mom said she would buy the yarn for the project if I could make her 2 pillows that fit the theme of the basement. So I quickly agreed, and she bought me some lovely cascade yarn. I started brainstorming ideas, and I wanted to make one that has the shape of Oregon on a pillowcase. And also, we're from Oregon, so this isn't weird, this makes sense. But when I started working on the project, I got really messed up with the right side and the wrong side, and I accidentally had the wrong graph size, so I got super confused and pretty frustrated. So I decided to set that project down for a while and work on my next one, which turned out to be a pillow for my boyfriend. At the time, my boyfriend had introduced me to the show One Piece, which I immediately became obsessed with, so I wanted to make a Straw Hat Jolly Roger pillow for my boyfriend. His favorite color is orange, so I went to Joann's and I picked out an orange color that would act as the background for this pillow. Once again, I got confused by the right side and the wrong side of the pillowcase, but unfortunately in this instance I didn't notice until I had completed the tapestry. If you look closely, you'll notice that the teeth section is a bit messed up, but it's very small and hard to notice, and so I had no intentions of going back and fixing it. My last step was to add a red and yellow border to match the accents of the hat color. I also turned this tapestry into a pillow, but the back of it is just plain orange single crocheted. And I fully entombed a random pillow we had laying around the apartment, so there's no zipper or anything, but I think it looks pretty good this way. I started this one on December 2nd and finished it on December 8th, so it took me 7 days total. I'm gonna give this one 4 out of 5 stars because I love how it turned out, but there are, a few mistakes in it, so I have to take that into consideration. Finally, I worked up the courage to complete the organ tapestry, and I do think it turned out quite nice. It was my first time working with yarn that was not acrylic or polyester, so that element of it was very nice. I wish I did give myself more time for this project because I wanted to add a back crocheted tapestry to make it a pillowcase. However, I just had the one tapestry, so I ended up stitching it with thread and a needle onto a pillow. So on one side it's like a tapestry, and if you flip it over it's just a pillow on the other side, which isn't the best look. I started this tapestry on November 5th and finished it on December 21st, so it took me 42 days to complete. However, a lot of those days were spent working on the one piece pillow. I am going to give this tapestry 4 out of 5 stars because I think it looks great and matches the bedroom perfectly. However, I wish I could have executed attaching the tapestry to the pillow a bit better. My next 2 pieces both began on December 21st. I wanted to make a present for my cousin who is studying to become a marine biologist, and I wanted to make a fish pillow for her. So a while back I had asked her for a list of her favorite sea creatures, and she sent back the most detailed list, breaking it into invertebrates and vertebrates, so that's how serious she takes her fish. On the list of invertebrates, I noticed 2 types of crab, the calico crab and the arrow crab. I decided to go with a silhouette version of the calico crab because I didn't think I would be able to capture its pattern perfectly. Her favorite color is green, so I made a black silhouette of the calico crab, completely symmetrical so I could get through it a little faster, and the background was green. When I realized the pillow I got wasn't the right size for the tapestry, I also added brown and green stripes, continuing the design. I do like how the silhouette of the crab looks as well as the color scheme, but I do think many aspects of this design look quite rushed, mostly because it was. It took me 3 days to finish, and at the time I was really happy with it, but now 3 years later looking back at it, I think I'm gonna have to give it 3 out of 5 stars. My final piece in 2023 was the second pillow I made for my parents. I had huge dreams of making one with like the state flower or the state bird on it. However, I just ran out of time, and so I decided to go with another symmetrical heart pattern. So like the crab pillow, I also did the design and then alternating stripes of different colors. And once again, unfortunately, I did stitch it straight onto a pillow, which I know is not great, but I did not give myself enough time to finish this project. This piece was finished on December 24th, so it took me 4 days total to complete. And my parents and their pet cat were very happy with it, so that is the most important thing, and I do think it looks great in their guest bedroom. 3 stars. So overall, in 2023, I created 7 tapestries, and 6 of those ended up being gifts. The only one I kept, of course, was the jack-o'-lantern tapestry / pillow. 3 of these tapestries were completed in October, while the remaining 4 were completed in December. I did the math and my average time to complete one tapestry is 11.28 days, but if I remove the highest and lowest number of those days, being 2 and 42, my new average goes down to 7 days. When reflecting on this list, I noticed that the ones I'm least happy with are the ones where I gave myself little time to finish the project. I do love all of these creations and I'm happy nothing fell below 3 stars, but it is hard to review these because it being 3 years ago, I've gotten a lot better at crocheting as well as giving myself more time to finish projects. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. Bye.